sometimes deadly even in the right hands. The story on Special Edition, Tuesday at 7 on Minnesota's News Channel.
On the next Twin Cities Live, spend an hour with Ms. Magazine's Gloria Steinem. Find out who she calls the dumbest men in America. Tuesday at 9.
You're watching KSTP TV, Minnesota's News Channel 5.
KSTP Channel 5, this is Eyewitness News Morning.
Good morning. It's 6 o'clock on this Tuesday, August 4th.
It's kind of nice today. Sort of feels like naturally air-conditioned.
A lot nicer than the last few days.
We're going to find out all the details right now with Bill Ranby. He's way upstairs in the Weather Center. Good morning, Bill.
Good morning, Wendy. Good morning, Bob. You know, everybody's going to be saying, yeah, I'm sure that fall's coming now because it's going to be one of those early seasons. We had a warm summer. Not the case, but it will be cool for today and cool for tonight. That'll be welcome relief. Check the current conditions this morning. You won't believe it's 62 degrees now at 6 o'clock. It's 64 at 5 o'clock. The dew point is 56, 75% humidity. Winds are north at 10, and skies are mostly clear. Beautiful sunrise coming up right about now. The sun is just rising, and it's going to be a sunny early morning. We'll have some clouds scattered around through the day, but temperatures are really going to be on the comfortable side. Generally, we're seeing mid to upper 70s for highs. Bob, it's going to be nice for you to play golf later today, isn't it now?
Up in Alexandria, it's downright chilly out there, Bill.
Yeah.
How well do you think you could handle the stress of your home being destroyed by a tornado? Some people in Maple Grove are finding out as they pick up the pieces following July 23rd superstorm. Tonight, they can get some help. The American Red Cross and a group called the Minnesota Network for Disaster Stress Intervention is holding a meeting for residents to help cope with stress. It's at 7 p.m. at the Maple Grove Central Fire Station. The Network Stresses team is a volunteer group of psychologists and counselors who are experts in dealing with disaster-related stress. The group helped people in Mounds View after last year's gas line pipeline explosion. The state of Minnesota may come up with a plan to help homeowners who find themselves flooded out in the next superstorm. Thousands of people who were left high and dry on their insurance coverage after the recent storm. Well, John Wingate reports on a meeting that was held last night by lawmakers seeking some answers so that they can find a solution.
After the superstorm, thousands of homeowners were shocked to learn their policies do not cover flood damage. About 100 people brought their concerns and questions to a meeting called by state lawmakers. Trenda Johnson related the phone call to her insurance agent.
He told me it was an act of God and he was sorry and that was it.
Commerce Commissioner Mike Hatch criticized insurance companies for implying that homeowner policies cover everything.
When you talk about what's covered on the front of the brochure, it gives you an idea of what's covered. And to find out later on, while the damage is going on, that it really isn't. That's very, very difficult for people to understand.
Lawmakers discussed requiring insurance companies to offer catastrophic insurance in Minnesota to cover damage like that sustained in the superstorm.
There may be a way to design an option with a high deductible relating to flooding and perhaps relating to a way where it does include going into the bottom level.
Federal officials say government flood insurance is available to anyone, anywhere, but damage from seepage or sewer backup is not covered, and that is the problem facing a lot of area residents.
If water, surface water from any source touches at least 2 houses, that's a flood, and the flood insurance policy would pay off.
I'm John Wingate reporting for Eyewitness News Morning.
For more information on flood insurance, call your agent. Coverage on a $90,000 home would cost about $350 a year.
Police have identified a woman found stabbed to death at the Falls Motel in Minneapolis. She is 33-year-old Melanie King. Police say she apparently worked as a prostitute. A motel manager says a cleaning woman discovered King's body yesterday afternoon. The manager also says King had been living in the motel with a male companion the past 2 months. Today, a Red Wing woman will make her first court appearance on charges she and her boyfriend murdered her 3-year-old daughter. The child, Julia Morrison, died several months after Julia's father, Craig Morrison, reported his estranged wife, Gloria Morrison, and her boyfriend for suspected child abuse. Yesterday, Gloria was arrested along with her boyfriend. But Craig Morrison says the charges are a bittersweet victory. Pat Milan reports Morrison's believes something could have been done before Julia Morrison died.
I'm angry and there's hurt that it had to be such a drastic thing happen before they did anything about it.
The child's mother, Gloria Morrison, and her boyfriend, James Olson, were arrested and charged with 2 counts of murder. Gloria Morrison is charged with neglect in the death of little Julia also. A coroner's report says the child died as a result of multiple blows to the head and body. When Julia spent the Thanksgiving holiday at her grandparents' home, they were shocked to see the bruises on her body. So the cause was no surprise, the cause of death to Craig Morrison after he learned of his daughter's death.
Just one look, you have bruises around your neck and the side of your head. You just know that you don't get hurt that often in such odd places.
I'm Pat Milan reporting for Eyewitness News Morning.
Now, Morrison says he'll file suit because the Goodhue District Attorney, the Assistant DA, and Social Services were all notified of the negligence and abuse months before Julia's death.
A follow-up now on a story that we reported to you yesterday morning. Police are looking for the arsonist who blew up Lincoln's Market. Firefighters found 2 gas cans in the store. No one was injured in the fire. Owner Joe Lincoln says he thinks someone is trying to get revenge. Lincoln shot a man who police say was trying to rob Lincoln's other store, the County Cub Market. In that incident last June, police say the would-be robber shot one of Lincoln's employees, then got in a shootout with Lincoln inside the store. Lincoln wounded the man. He says that since then, he and his employees have been routinely threatened.
An early morning fire gutted a trailer home in Mounds View today. Firefighters say no one was living in the trailer at the Towns Edge Terrace Trailer Court. The trailer was up for sale. There were no injuries reported. The cause of the fire is under investigation. And Minneapolis police are investigating a stabbing early this morning. Police say a man was stabbed in the side at 2508 16th Avenue South. He was taken to Hennepin County Medical Center for treatment. Police are still looking for the suspect.
Just before 6:07 right now in the morning time.
It's 62 degrees, not bad at all. Meteorologist Bill Ranby is coming up with today's weather.
Plus, we will show you how triplets are getting some help. Dr. Michael Breen will bring you that story ahead on Eyewitness News Morning.
Like bargains? Who doesn't? Wait till you see Levitt's amazing August sale. All Levitt's area stores are celebrating with outstanding bargains. For example, $88 buys this twin-size poster bed, and only $98 buys bachelor chest, open hutch, student desk, chair, corner desk, mirror, or nightstand. Matching pieces are also sale priced during Levitt's August sale.
You'll love it at Levitt's.
For a red-hot buy on siding, shop Menards right now and save. Textured plywood sidings are on sale now. Save on textured lap siding, too, or the natural beauty of cedar. You'll never paint siding again with wood grain vinyl lap siding. It's maintenance-free, easy to install, and covered by a 50-year warranty. On sale now at just $377 per double lap section. That's siding for every home on sale now at Menards.
Coming August 4th, a very special news magazine. Bic lighters, dangerous in the wrong hands, sometimes deadly in the right hand. A hot Minneapolis band that many people would empty their pockets to see. A backstage look at the Wallets. It's 3 p.m. Do you know where your children are? The dilemma of latchkey kids and their parents. Special edition, an Eyewitness News magazine.
62 degrees.
It's pretty comfortable.
Do I have my overcoat on or something?
Well, you're selling those wool blankets like you said yesterday. You know,
We're used to those warm temperatures.
Yeah, we are, but it's nice now. It's going to be welcome relief. It's not going to be around forever, you know. This is still summer, but it's nice to get a couple of days of cool weather, and that's exactly what we've got this morning. Check the current temperature, and it's 62 degrees out at the airport, and skies are partly cloudy. Beautiful sunrise coming up right now. The dew point is 56, 81% humidity, and those winds are north at 9 miles per hour. Temperatures right now across Minnesota and the upper Midwest are really cool. Mid-50s across northern Minnesota, 52 in International Falls, and it's 62 in the Twin Cities. So we're the warm spot in the southern part of the state. But we've had mostly clear skies, a few clouds through northern Minnesota, and some clouds also to the west of us. Let's check the upper Midwest satellite pictures and see what's happening here. To the north, you can just kind of pick out these low clouds working south. They're tough to see. They really are up there, though. And mid-level clouds coming across the Dakotas. There's an upper-level disturbance out to the west of us, and this one could possibly give a few sprinkles to western Minnesota that will fall apart, though, before they get here. But a mixture of sun and clouds around, certainly for the day today. This afternoon, here's what it looks like. High pressure across northern Wisconsin. Our winds will be dying down a little bit this afternoon and this evening, but real pleasant weather conditions. Temperatures These are forecast highs for today. It'll be 70 degrees for a high in Escanaba, Michigan, 69 up at Grand Marais, about 77 in the Twin Cities, and yes, a partly sunny sky. So that's the way we'll call it for midday. Generally looking for a partly sunny sky at midday with a refreshing temperature of around 70 degrees. Winds out of the north about 10 to 20 miles per hour. Those winds will die down this evening, about northeast 5 to 15. Partly cloudy, still comfortable for afternoon drive time, and then that's about our high for the day, about 77. Later on tonight, our low drops to 59, still partly cloudy, light and variable winds, another comfortable sleeping night. And then the day tomorrow, a little warmer, 85 for a high, partly cloudy, and a chance of a thunderstorm late, and some of those could be strong into tomorrow night, so we'll keep an eye on them.
But better, though. Much better.
Nice today, really nice.
Speaking of drive time, you mentioned that. Let's check on the traffic conditions at the current moment with Marianne Sullivan over at Metro Traffic Control. Good morning, Marianne.
Good morning, and things are moving smoothly for this Tuesday morning. We have a green light on the system, holding at the posted speed limits so far, and no accidents to report. Coming in from White Bear Lake, Highway 61, traffic is moving quite nicely at the posted speed limits through there. And just a bit of a delay building through the construction zone, 35W, County Road C to County Road I. You'll find it single lane through there, with the ramp to Highway 96 closed. And beginning tomorrow, 35W northbound, the ramp to Highway 10 is going to close as a part of that construction project. I'm Marianne Sullivan, Metro Traffic Control, reporting live for Eyewitness News.
Thank you, Marianne. A local family faced with paying a medical bill of $500,000 can rest easier this morning.
Kenneth and Sheila Ojala were told yesterday they wouldn't have to pay for the treatment of their premature triplets. Dr. Michael Breen has the story.
Oh, my goodness, right away.
Nicole, say hi.
Nicole, Amber, and Heather have had to struggle for survival from the day they were born. They were 10 weeks premature, and none weighed more than 2.5 pounds. The triplets' parents have also faced an uphill struggle. When Sheila Ojala went into labor, the family's doctor said the cost of saving their children would be astronomical.
It could run in excess of $500,000.
To care for the premature infants?
Right. Because they'd be so small and they'd have to be in the hospital for so long.
That staggering sum is even worse when you consider that the Ojala family has no insurance. Kenneth Ojala is a construction worker who falls through the cracks of the system. He makes too much money to qualify for medical assistance, yet he hasn't yet qualified for his own company insurance plan. The Ojalas applied everywhere they could for help, but without success. The looming hospital bill, already several $100,000, threatened to bankrupt the family's future. Rather than let that happen, Riverside Medical Center has decided to swallow the Ojalas' entire hospital bill.
To what extent will you cover that $500,000 now?
We will cover it totally, except for the original $500 that the family paid for the original care.
We were lucky enough to break that news to the Ojalas.
Yeah, how do you feel about the fact they do that?
That'd be wonderful. That's terrific. Everybody's been really helpful for us and everything, and nurses and everything, and it's just really been great.
Oh, that is great. Sure appreciate it. A lot.
The hospital will pay the Ojalas' bill from a contingency fund, and the money the family saves should buy a lot of diapers in the future. I'm Dr. Michael Breen, reporting for Eyewitness News Morning.
By the way, we'd like to thank Jane Rosbeck, a friend of the Ojala family, for telling us about this story. Jane called KSTP's tip line. The number, once again, for all of you is 5 TV News, and we thank her. The Minnesota Vikings opened training camp yesterday with some conspicuous absences.
And Joe Niekro left the Oakland game early last night after umpires discovered a no-no. We'll talk about it in just a moment.
Ah, the delightful new meals people are serving today. Creative, nutritious, convenient, light. It's not surprising that all these meals are made with white meat. What is surprising is that the white meat here is pork. Pork, the other white meat.
What startling truths about Elvis are emerging 10 years after his death? Inquiring minds want to know.
I want to know.
Why does this woman claim she bore Elvis's love child? This week's National Enquirer tells you. How can you get a better night's sleep? How can you be the life of the party?
It's in the Inquirer.
Why does Vanna White fear she's haunted by a death curse? Find out in the Inquirer. Over 100 features for people with inquiring minds.
Like me.
I'm Harry Sieben. I'd like to tell you about an important addition at Sieben, Gross, and Von Holtum. Former federal Judge Miles Lord, a proven advocate of your legal rights, has joined us. We've always been known as the law firm for injured people that want to know their rights. The addition of Miles Lord will make us even more effective in representing you. So if you've been injured in an accident, on the road, at home, or on the job, contact us for a free consultation. We assure you maximum protection of your legal rights.
Ed Kairos here. So what's this deal with Mr. Necro last night?
Well, when you can't spit, you do something else. Ooh, it's fun. The Twins beat the Angels 11-3 last night, now have a 2-game lead on Oakland in the West, but that's not half the story. Last night's starter for the Twins, Joe Necro, 42-year-old knuckleballer. Or is he a knuckleballer? Ever Alert with Replays Television provides this redo of the object, which turned out to be an emery board. Those sandy little, or from rain maybe, only then does he resort to using the sandpaper in his pockets to do his nails. Twins beat the Angels 11-3. The Angels are now 2.5 back of the Twins. Seattle downed Oakland to put them 2 back of the Twins. Kansas City beat Detroit. Boston over Texas. Toronto down Chicago. Cleveland over New York. National League, St. Louis beat Montreal. L.A. over Cincinnati. Houston in 13 over San Francisco. New York beat Philadelphia in 11. Pittsburgh by 2 over Chicago. The Minnesota Vikings opened training camp at Mankato State yesterday afternoon with 2 players missing and excused and 3 others who were missing and not excused. Rob Lear reports.
It may not feel like fall outdoors to you, but it sure sounded like it today in Mankato. The popping of pads signaled the start of the football season for the Vikings. But not all Viking players expected for the opening day of training camp were present. Pro Bowl safety Joey Browner headed a list of 4 players that were no-shows.
They're all signed. I don't know where they are. I don't know what prevails in their own particular situations.
Coach Jerry Burns starts his 2nd season with the Vikes with many more preseason questions than answers. Most of the focus is on the quarterback, especially with Tommy Kramer excused from training camp for a couple of weeks.
I get a little more work down here in training camp, but I feel sure that the coaches feel when he gets back that he'll take over again. But it's a good opportunity for me to get some work in right now.
The players that were in camp today seemed upbeat and enthusiastic about the season ahead. And why not? Good things started to happen to this football team late last year.
A lot of people didn't expect us to do as well as we did, and now that we realize how good we are, how good we can be, I just think this year is just going to be a very important year for us.
The guys worked really hard this offseason, and everybody's ready to put it to work now. You know, they did a lot of running, did a lot of lifting, and it's time to do it.
Instead of dwelling on ways to beat the Heat, this squad of Vikings seemed determined to work in camp on ways to beat the Bears. A task no doubt made easier once all hands are on deck. In Mankato, I'm Rob Lear for Channel 5 Eyewitness Sports.
Most exciting thing down there was his shirt.
You know who gave Joe that emery board?
Oh, come on. We're going to talk about that a little bit later on. Right. All right. Thanks, Ed. It's 6:19 right now, 62 degrees on this Tuesday morning. Coming up next, meteorologist Bill Ranby and a look at the day's weather forecast and a peek at the weekend.
And later on Eyewitness News Morning, Neil Murray takes a look at mail-order companies that sound like the real thing but aren't. That's on your behalf.
Where can you get answers to your medical questions if you can't reach your doctor? Call 874-4444 for Medformation.
You'll get a winning deal now at your Hall of Fame dealer's World Series of Savings.
Be a winner at Art Goebel Ford. Get 3.9% APR 24-month financing or rebates of $300 on Escort and Tempo, $500 on 6-cylinder Thunderbirds, $1,000 on Bronco 2s and 4-wheel drive Rangers, 5.9% APR on 2, 3, or 4-year contracts, or up to $500 rebates on Taurus, plus 6-year, 60,000-mile warranties. See your less hassle dealer, Art Goebel Ford, Coon Rapids.
15 years ago, she broke away from mainstream publishing to create a feminist magazine called Ms. Her critics said it would last only 6 months, but now it symbolizes the women's movement. I'm Bob Bruce, and on the next Twin Cities Live, we'll talk with Gloria Steinem. Has the feminist movement maintained its momentum over the years? What is the Ms. wish list for the coming decade? Hear who she calls the dumbest men in America. Tuesday at 9, right after Good Morning America on Channel 5.
Welcome back on a Tuesday morning. Kind of a nice morning. In fact, it's a very nice morning out there.
Incredibly comfortable.
Yes.
Incredibly comfortable.
There you go, yeah. It really is nice, but not much happening right now across the Midwest. So usually on Tuesday mornings, I take a look at the weekend, what we might have for the weekend, for planning purposes, of course, only. But here's our peek at the weekend now, what it may be like this weekend. Temperatures are going to be pretty comfortable again through the weekend. The real warm, hot air will be down to the south, the southern part of the country. Temperatures in the 90s from Florida and the Gulf Coast right out into the Midwest. But we'll have partly cloudy skies. I think Saturday looks like the best day of the weekend. This little weather system will slide across the Midwest and perhaps give us some showers and thunderstorms by Sunday. But generally, mild temperatures, pretty close to normal, and that's about the low to mid 80s for highs. So that's what we should see, I think, over the weekend with the real hot stuff down to our south. What do we got this morning out there? Check the current conditions. 62 degrees, the temperature. The dew point is 56. Those are both really comfortable values. The humidity is 81%, north winds at 9, pressure rising, and partly cloudy skies. Take a look at radars around the country. Nothing happening around Minnesota. There are lots of showers and thunderstorms south of us through the mid-Mississippi Valley, and also some showers coming across Nebraska and South Dakota. Some of those might make it into western Minnesota before they die out, but I don't believe they'll get to the Twin Cities. We should be dry, precipitation-wise, and cool temperature-wise. 70s across most of Minnesota, some 60s in the Arrowhead and in the UP of Michigan, and the hot air out to the west of us should stay put for just a couple of days. Our forecast then for midday today calling for a partly sunny, refreshing temperature of 70 degrees. Our dew point should be in the 50s through most of the day today. Late afternoon drive time about 77. That should be our high. Partly cloudy skies, real comfortable once again. Tonight, yes, another nice sleeping night. 59 for the low with light and variable winds. Tomorrow should be a decent day throughout much of the morning, but late in the afternoon, perhaps a thunderstorm coming in, and that could continue into Thursday morning. Possibly a stormy day for Thursday. Friday looks much like today will be. Partly cloudy with temperatures in the upper 70s to around 80, and then warming up a little bit by the weekend. So we're going to be up and down this week.
Yeah, I'd like you to stay right in that 80 range. That's perfect.
Well,
for this
people
time
like
of year.
that, yeah, but it's summer. We'll probably be heating up, I think, next week.
Okay, thanks, Bill.
Sure.
These are the top stories in the news this morning. Public testimony is over in the Iran-Contra hearings. Beginning this morning, committee members begin questioning high-level CIA officials behind closed doors. The court-martial trial of Marine Sergeant Clayton Lonetree continues today. Yesterday, defense attorneys in the espionage trial asked to question witnesses the government allegedly tried to hide. The reflagged Kuwaiti tanker Gas Prince has passed safely through the Strait of Hormuz in the Persian Gulf. Meanwhile, the Pentagon has announced plans to increase its limited mine hunting capability in the region. Near Tokyo, Japan, an air show was the setting for a tragic plane crash. Spectators stood by as a small plane crashed into a factory, killing both the pilot and the passenger. And a Continental Airlines pilot was forced to abort a takeoff in Denver after an electrical malfunction. None of the 271 passengers aboard the flight were injured. It is now 6:24, 62 degrees here in the Twin Cities. Neil Murray is up next on your behalf.
He sure is. And our Good Earth gardener has some tips on how to grow a midsummer garden. That's ahead on Eyewitness News Morning.
Hot values and great savings are yours at Budget Power, the home improvement expert, during the Sizzle Sale. Save on the bold look of Kohler toilets. From the economical to exciting high fashions and European styles, Kohler goes a step beyond. Set your house apart and extend the fun of summer living with a top-quality sunroom package from Budget Power. Save on all high-efficiency, trouble-free Heil air conditioners. Lasco's 3-piece remodeler showers are easy to install, built to last, and in a wide variety of colors. Shop the Sizzle Sale at Budget Power, the home improvement expert.
For over 20 years, Bradley Exterminating Company has been providing quality exterminating services for fine homes, apartments, and businesses. And now, due to popular demand, we've also developed a complete line of quality products for the do-it-yourselfer. All Bradley Exterminating products are easy to use and packed with exterminator punch to get the job done fast. When you have a pest problem, look for a Bradley display in a store near you. Bradley Exterminating products. They work for exterminators, they'll work for you.
Available at Wertz Ace Hardware and Lindale Garden Center.
A lot of you out there don't believe superglues work. Take it from me. I'm Harry Coover. I invented super glue, and this new stuff really works. It's Duro Quick Gel with MTS. More thick, more quick, more stick. To work better on more things than ordinary super glues. Duro Quick Gel with MTS. There's no other super glue like it. Right, George?
Right, Harry.
Available at these fine stores.
Good morning, everyone. Neil Murray joins us on your behalf.
Wake up!
Yeah.
There we go. This is a letter regarding American Clearinghouse. You've all heard of this, right? American Clearinghouse. Here's a letter. It says, Dear Sirs or Madam, we got this offer in the mail yesterday. It sounded too good to be true. Upon calling the Better Business Bureau in Las Vegas, we found out that it was indeed too good to be true. And that's where Neil Murray steps in.
Now, what you've said already probably rings bells with everyone. They hear the bells, but the bells aren't really ringing because everyone has not heard of American Clearinghouse. You've heard of some clearinghouse, Publishers Clearinghouse, other, but American Clearing, that's what they want you to think, though. It sounds like something you've heard of before. This, on your behalf, viewer was told that he had won a $2,500 shopping spree certificate from American Clearinghouse with their awards category for 1987. And it says in big, bold letters at the top here, congratulations, you have won and will be receiving without cost or obligation. 4th prize. Well, we blew this up so that everyone could see it, and if you take page 2 here, it goes on to say you have to send us $49.50 because you won 4th prize. And it has to do with the gift processing fee, whatever in the world that is. Now, on your behalf, office contacted the Better Business Bureau in Las Vegas, Nevada, and asked about these friendly folks at American Clearinghouse. The company offers advertising specialty products, and the BBB's understanding is that the winner receives a catalog. For $49.50, you receive a catalog. This firm does not meet the Better Business Bureau standards of better business practices. Specifically, the firm was ordered to cease and desist business until such time as they receive a business license. Now, they don't have a business license. They're doing business without a license. You don't want to deal with a company that does business without a license, especially early in the morning when no one knows what's going on. So they're warning you, don't deal with unlicensed businesses. American Clearinghouse. American Clearinghouse is not necessarily one of the clearinghouses you have heard about or dealt with before, but it sounds like it.
Yes, it does.
You have won 4th prize at no cost or obligation. Page 2, $49.50. Okay, it's the typical come on, don't come on, okay? Go to work. It's safer. Make money. Don't give it away. That's advice.
All right, thank you, Neil.
Surely.
Talk to you later. More Eyewitness News Morning is coming up right after this.
If you don't feel guilty, it wasn't that good.
Hi, honey.
I ate all the Frusenglasche.
Frusenglasche, so creamy, so delicious.
And I'd do it again.
Enjoy the guilt.
Give us your simple arthritis pain, your sore muscles yearning for relief, and we'll give you new Mitchum Solid Relief, America's first painkiller in a solid gel stick with more medication than the leading ointment.
I got this last-minute call to work the 7 a.m. flight, and everything went wrong. I was even out of my antiperspirant. But was I worried? I used Lady Mitchum Wide Solid.
Lady Mitchum is so effective, you can even skip a day.
Looking back at quality Kmart portraits is like traveling through time. His button nose, her first party dress. And right now, you can save your memories and save $7 on your 21 portrait package. You get 2 8x10s, 3 5x7s, 15 wallets, and a giant 10x13 wall portrait, all for just $12.95. So save your memories and save $7 on your professional portrait package this week at Kmart.
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you tonight at 10 o'clock. I know that you can't always get home in time for the evening news, but Eyewitness News is only a phone call away, right at your fingertips with CityLine. Current, accurate, 24-hour-a-day news information with a free call to CityLine. Call today at 645-6060 and access the news hotline number. Because no matter how close you are to the evening news, it's nice to know that CityLine and current Channel 5 Eyewitness News is only a phone call away.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back on this Tuesday morning, 62 degrees. I'm Wendy Lubavitch.
Good morning, I'm Bob Bruce. In the next half hour of Eyewitness News Morning, state lawmakers met with victims of the superstorm to try to find a solution to insurance coverage that left them high and dry. And President Reagan is back to work today after undergoing cancer surgery on the tip of his nose.
Jason Davis takes us on the road again to southern Minnesota, where a couple has found a way to lick the unemployment problem. But first, a Red Wing mother is set to face the judge today on murder charges involving the death of her daughter. The mother and her boyfriend are charged with murder in the death of 3-year-old Julia Morrison. The father of the child had earlier reported suspected child abuse to authorities. The mother, Gloria Morrison, and her boyfriend, James Olson, were arrested yesterday and charged with 2 counts of murder.
Well, it is now 6:31, 62 very pleasant degrees outside. And let's check on the traffic conditions now with Marianne Sullivan. How's it moving out there, Marianne?
Things continue to move very smoothly, so we'll keep the green light on the system, and accident-free so far, moving at the posteds for most of the metro. 694, we're beginning to see that usual delay for the morning, Central Avenue to the River Bridge, but just a minor slowdown so far. On the west end, County Road 18 southbound from Rockford Road past Highway 12, you'll now find some moderately heavy traffic moving close to 50 miles per hour through there. Highway 12 westbound at Penn Avenue going to become single lane today. That begins at 9 o'clock this morning and will continue until 3 this afternoon. But again, we're moving very smoothly for this Tuesday morning. I'm Marianne Sullivan, Metro Traffic Control, reporting live for Eyewitness News.
Thanks, Marianne. A lot of people up at this time of day are probably getting ready to fly away somewhere.
That's right. It's travel time. And this time, you know, every morning we always have the flyaway forecast. And usually we start off with the current conditions because people want to know what it's like right now when they go outside. Do you have to have a jacket on this morning? Probably not. It's very comfortable, though. The temperature outside is 62 degrees. The dew point is 56, 81% humidity. Winds are north at 9. And the pressure rising because there's an area of high pressure moving in. And here it is, the widely acclaimed flyaway forecast for the country today. If you're traveling to the east, there could be some thunderstorm delays from southern Missouri, northern Arkansas, right on up to the sections of New York State. So if you're traveling to Pittsburgh or perhaps Columbus, Ohio, or Little Rock, Arkansas, check ahead. There could be some delays. Here are some cities for you. Chicago will be 80 and 60 for a high and low with partly cloudy skies. Real hot in the west. Boise, Idaho, 98 for a high. Las Vegas, 104. Lots of sunshine in the west and scattered thunderstorms in the east, but not quite as far as the coast. Washington will be hot, about 97 for a high. So if you're traveling east, you'll need the sunglasses and perhaps a swimsuit. It's really going to be stormy but very warm in the east. The satellite picture shows the clouds that came through yesterday. These are the thunderstorms that track to the east and southeast. They got strong as they moved into Illinois. They dropped some large hail and also had some gusty winds, Belvedere, Illinois, and a tornado just east of Springfield. So there was some severe weather from those storms that came through, but not until they got past us. This afternoon it looks very pleasant for most of the Midwest. High pressure settling in, giving us generally partly sunny skies, maybe a few sprinkles in western Minnesota, but we'll have about 77 for a high with temperatures right around the 70s across most of Minnesota. Our forecast then for midday calling for, yes, a partly sunny, refreshing temperature of 70. North winds about 10 to 20, so it'll be a little breezy, especially during this morning. Winds will be dying down this afternoon, and we will continue to have very pleasant conditions of partly cloudy skies, comfortable 77 afternoon drive. That'll be our high. Tonight's low about 59 degrees with partly cloudy skies. And then for the day tomorrow, up to 85, maybe a thunderstorm late in the day. And we've got ragweed pollen now climbing up into the mid-moderate range. That's our primary pollen now is ragweed pollen, which is probably going to be with us through the rest of the month. And it seems to climb up when we have a storm move through, and then the next day it climbs up.
It's a big problem in August, ragweed is.
That's right.
Yes. All right. Thanks, Bill. Talk to you
Sure.
later. Victims from the recent superstorm gathered last night to talk about flood insurance, or the lack of it. After the storm, thousands of area residents were shocked to learn their policies do not cover flood damage. State Commerce Commissioner Mike Hatch criticized insurance companies for implying that homeowner policies cover everything. Still, federal officials say flood insurance is available to anyone, but damage from seepage or sewer backup is not covered.
The tornado that hit Maple Grove last week did millions of dollars of damage in a few brief moments, but the effects of the storm will be felt for quite some time. Victims of the tornado will have to deal with much more than financial losses. Tornado victims suffer high levels of stress. To help victims cope, a special meeting will be held tonight in Maple Grove. The Minnesota Network for Disaster Stress Intervention and the Twin Cities Red Cross will be at the Maple Grove Central Fire Station from 7 until 9 p.m. tonight. They will offer free emergency stress counseling.
U.S. vessels have completed an escort mission in the perilous Persian Gulf. The U.S.-flagged Kuwaiti tanker sailed through the Straits of Hormuz without incident. Meanwhile, tension in the area continues to rise in the wake of last Friday's death of Iranian pilgrims in Mecca. More than 1 million Muslims there prayed for divine guidance yesterday. Speakers warned the pilgrims not to mix politics with their religious duties.
Well, today the President of the United States is back on the job after cancer surgery on his nose. Appearing at a news conference yesterday, President Reagan's nose was puffy and discolored after having cancer removed from the tip of his nose. He will wear a bandage until the 20 stitches required by the procedure are removed. The President's doctors say that the operation was a success and that he is recovering quite nicely. There are still witnesses to be heard from, but the public portion of the Iran-Contra hearings has ended in Congress. The panels will now go into private session to hear from several CIA officials before drafting a final report. News Star reporter Marlon Jennings has more.
The Iran-Contra hearings retreat from the public spotlight and go behind closed doors today. Committee members will hear private testimony from CIA officials on the role played by the late CIA Director William Casey. Yesterday, as they wrapped up the public portion of the hearings, committee members said the Iran-Contra affair was caused in large part by confusion at the highest levels of government and by a lack of accountability.
It is an elitist vision of government that trusts no one, not the people, not the Congress, and not the cabinet. It is a vision of a government operated by persons convinced they have a monopoly on truth.
The president will issue his own conclusions on the affair, possibly next week. The White House says Mr. Reagan is already working on the speech. In Washington, Marlon Jennings reporting for the News Star Network.
The court-martial proceedings of St. Paul native Clayton Lonetree continue today in Quantico, Virginia. Defense attorneys in the espionage trial have asked to question witnesses the government allegedly tried to hide. The former embassy guard in Moscow and Vienna is accused of letting his love affair with a Soviet woman evolve into espionage. Some people are predicting the Federal Communications Commission will get rid of the fairness doctrine today. The Associated Press quotes unnamed sources who say the FCC will do it at today's meeting in Washington. The Congress failed to pass a bill that would have set the fairness doctrine into law recently. The fairness doctrine requires television and radio stations to present differing views on controversial issues. But FCC officials say the 38-year-old rule isn't needed. They also point out it may be unconstitutional under the First Amendment.
In what has to be one of the easiest Senate confirmations of the Reagan administration, Alan Greenspan has been given the go-ahead by the Senate to become the head of the Federal Reserve Board. The vote was 91-2 in favor of Greenspan's nomination to succeed the retiring Paul Volcker. Senate Banking Committee Chairman William Proxmire says that Greenspan has a clear commitment to fight inflation. 3 state employee groups are ready for a vote on new contracts with the state of Minnesota. State labor negotiator Lance Teachworth says that tentative agreements on 2-year contracts were reached between the state and the Middle Management Association, the Minnesota Community College Faculty Association, and the Inter-Faculty Organization.
It is called the Midwest's #1 outdoor farm festival, and it gets underway today in the small farming community of Lake Crystal. The event is Farm Fest 87. It's actually the 6th year Minnesota will be hosting Farm Fest. Some 70,000 farmers are expected to gather to view, demonstrate, and display the latest in farm technology. Plenty of entertainment will be around as well. Farm Fest runs today through Thursday.
If you use a disposable lighter, you could be putting yourself and other people in danger. Eyewitness News has uncovered evidence that a number of Bic lighters may be defective and malfunction without warning. Some people say they've had such lighters flare up in their hands, suddenly becoming almost like a blowtorch. That's just one of the stories we'll look at tonight in an Eyewitness News magazine. It's called Special Edition. You can see it here on Channel 5 tonight at 7, right after Hollywood Squares. It is now 6:39, still 62 degrees in the Twin Cities, and coming up on Eyewitness News, Ed Cairo. You will not believe what happened at last night's Twins game.
That's for sure. And up next, our Good Earth Gardener with some good news about middle-of-the-summer gardens.
Meineke knows just how you feel. You want a quality muffler that doesn't cost a lot.
Hey, you big ape! I'm not going to pay a lot for this muffler.
I'm not going to pay a lot for this muffler, and it better be quality.
We're not going to pay a lot for this muffler, and we want quality.
No problem. Meineke's quality Everlast mufflers are priced from just $18.93 installed.
Oh, I'm not going to pay a lot and still get quality.
I'm Steve Edelman.
I'm Sharon Anderson.
On Our Next Good Company, see what happens when Gary checks out the nude beaches in the Twin Cities.
Also, I'll join a fitness expert to get the do's and don'ts of aerobic exercise.
And we'll review a new all-you-can-eat prime rib restaurant in Bloomington.
And we'll meet actor Dolph Lundgren, the Iron Man who was Rocky's Russian opponent in Rocky II. Oh, Rocky IV. How many of those have there been?
Well,
Rocky IV.
Rocky IV. Oh, you remember him? He was this huge Drago or something?
Yeah.
Drago.
Don't miss your bus. There's a better way. Now, from home or office, using any touch-tone phone, just dial CityLine 645-6060 and enter the category RIDE to find out the very next time to catch your bus. No busy signals, no hassles, just quick and easy access to MTC bus information now from CityLine. The call is free, so call 645-6060, enter RIDE, and get on schedule today with CityLine.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back. It's 6:41, 62 degrees. Is there anything more beautiful than a midsummer garden? This morning, we take a tour of one of Minnesota's grandest gardens with Freddie Glasso in the Good Earth.
We have finally gotten to the midsummer season, and by now we are seeing gardens that are at their height of annuals and perennials. So today I'm going to take you on a little trip through a garden that has got many of these varieties that will grow here in our Good Earth in Minnesota. This is Fred Glasso, your Good Earth gardener, going to take you on a trip through a midsummer garden. In the spring, this is a early wildflower garden, but now in order to fill up the spaces where the wildflowers are gone, pots of coleus have been put in here and add color to this area in amongst the Shasta daisies and the daylilies, potted begonias, and many of our other perennials such as coral bell. The very common but beautiful lythrum that grows so nicely here in Minnesota gives you a lot of color in the garden. And then one of my all-time favorites, I would say, is the good old phlox that comes in reds and pinks, salmons and whites, and always ready to give you a lot of easy-growing color in July and August. Then we have the very all-summer color of the rose in both the tree form and in the low shrub form. Roses always giving you color right from the end of May till snow time. And then we have down here, of course, the ever-favorite geraniums that can add color to your garden just everywhere. This is Fred Glasso, your Good Earth gardener, saying, enjoy the flowers, enjoy the garden, and I hope you're having a good gardening summer.
I have never seen your backyard look better.
Oh, I know. I couldn't help. Wasn't that gorgeous?
Beautiful.
That was wonderful. So fleeting, too. The Vikings officially opened preparations for 1987 at Mankato.
And the umpires officially closed down Joe Niekro's bag of tricks, at least for one game. Ed Cairo will have sports after this.
Ember's $1.99 jumbo breakfast. 2 farm-fresh eggs, 2 buttermilk pancakes, 2 country sausage links, and 2 strips of hardwood cured bacon, only $1.99. Ember's, big taste, small check.
You're mailing bread?
To my son.
Don't they have bread back east?
Not brownberry bread.
No brownberry bread? Well, what do they put their butter on?
No wonder folks in Wisconsin love brownberry, because it's the only wheat bread this moist and rich. Luckily, it's baked fresh near you. When it's brownberry, it's never ordinary.
Coming August 4th, a very special news magazine. Bic lighters, dangerous in the wrong hands, sometimes deadly in the right hand. A hot Minneapolis band that many people would empty their pockets to see. A backstage look at the Wallets. It's 3 p.m. Do you know where your children are? The dilemma of latchkey kids and their parents. Special edition, an eyewitness news magazine.
Well, Ed, I have to admit, that was a first seeing that last night. I have never seen that happen before.
Isn't that fun? Well, most of them are better at hiding it than he is. I mean, who carries this big hunk of stuff where he might as well have brought a
You just have a toolbox out on the mound.
Yeah, really. We're talking, fans, about Joe Niekro. The Twins beat the Angels 11-3 last night. They now have a 2-game lead on Oakland in the West, but that's not half the story. Here it is. Last night's starter for the Twins, Joe Niekro, 42-year-old knuckleballer. But I don't think it's knuckles that's... Well, you get the idea. It ain't all spit that's doing it, folks. American League, 11-3. They are Twins over the Angels. They're 2.5 games ahead of everybody now because Seattle beat Oakland. Kansas City down Detroit in 10 innings. Boston over Texas. Toronto 14-5 over Chicago. Cleveland shut New York down, and the Indians broke on top early in that game. Pat Thurber's RBI single in the first, good for a 1-run lead. Then Tom Candiotti took over, knuckling the Yankees under. Well, maybe he knuckled it. Candiotti had a no-hitter going until the 8th when Mike Easler's single broke the spell, but Candiotti finished with a 1-hitter, his second shutout of the season, and the Indians beat the Yankees 2-0. In the National, St. Louis down Montreal, L.A. by 5 over Cincinnati, Houston in 12 over San Francisco, New York beat Philadelphia in 11, Pittsburgh over Chicago by 2. The Vikings opened camp at Mankato yesterday with 2 players missing and 3 who were AWOL. The missing players, Kramer and Holt, accounted for. They're undergoing treatment for alcoholism. The 3 others, Joey Browner, Walker Lee Ashley, and Chris Martin, are missing, and nobody really knows why.
They're all signed. I don't know where they are. I don't know what prevails in their own particular situations.
Problems for the Vikings already. Center Dennis Swilley could miss a month after surgery to correct a bone chip problem. Corner Carl Lee dislocated a bone in his right wrist, could be out 4 weeks as well. Well, the Vikings weren't the only team to start with something other than smooth sledding. At the 49ers camp yesterday, head coach Bill Walsh had a confrontation with a reporter.
Tom Kuzno, what channel is this?
Why don't we stop rolling, okay?
KTXL.
Why don't we just stop rolling until the temperature's cool, okay, guys? All right.
Well, that flare-up followed a news conference at which Tom Kuzno told reporters that he is not a homosexual. Apparently that subject has come up, and Kuzno, of course, was traded to the San Francisco 49ers. Walsh didn't want to hear about that and got his dander up a little bit.
All right, very good. Thanks, Ed. The time right now is 6:49 at 62 degrees here in the Twin Cities. Before you leave the house this morning, hear what meteorologist Bill Ranby has to say about the weather.
And come on the road again with Jason Davis to a house where homemade is still the best made. All that ahead when Eyewitness News Morning continues.
Check the base curve on this lens.
At LensCrafters, skilled laboratory technicians using the latest equipment in our in-store laboratories mean we can custom grind your exact prescription in about 1 hour. Listen.
They put new lenses in my old frames in about 45 minutes.
They were able to make a tool that's required to make my glasses.
I got my glasses in 47 minutes.
Very professional people.
LensCrafters. Quality eyeglasses in about an hour. Burnsville Center, Southdale Center, and Lomans Plaza, Roseville.
For over 20 years, Bradley Exterminating Company has been providing quality exterminating services for fine homes, apartments, and businesses. And now, due to popular demand, we've also developed a complete line of quality products for the do-it-yourselfer. All Bradley Exterminating products are easy to use and packed with exterminator punch to get the job done fast. When you have a pest problem, look for a Bradley display in a store near you. Bradley Exterminating Products. They work for exterminators, they'll work for you.
Available at North Heights Hardware Inc. and Stewart Building Mart.
Aircom knows your phone system is one of the most important assets your company can have. If you have the features you really need, and if you can add or subtract features as your needs change or new technology becomes available. That's why Aircom offers the completeness and flexibility of a Centron communication system from Northwestern Bell. Call 457-0543. Ask us about Centron. Aircom Incorporated, your authorized Northwestern Bell agent.
I don't know what chicken. Hey, Cookie, more pecani sauce. This ain't paste pecani sauce. What's the difference? Cookie, paste pecani sauce is made in San Antonio with fresh vegetables and spices by people who know what pecani sauce is supposed to taste like.
This stuff's made in New York City?
New York City?
Get a rope.
Pick up the original pecani sauce. Pick up the pace.
We go to a town famous for cheese and ham.
This morning, Julia Child takes us to Parma, Italy for Parma ham and Parmigiano cheese.
Also, Dolph Lundgren this morning on Good Morning America. This is indeed a little more civilized.
This is nice weather. You know, we had 19 days in a row of above normal temperatures, that is, until this morning, because I think today we're going to fall below that. So
Great.
Break the streak. You like to see those kind of streaks broken this time of the year. And this morning, our low temperature down to 62 degrees, and that's one below the average for this time of the year. No rainfall overnight. Sunrise was at 6:01 this morning. The current temperature is the morning's low of 62. The dew point is 56. Winds are light out of the north, but they'll be picking up this morning. And skies are partly cloudy. This morning's temperatures across Minnesota are cool. The warm spot, not the Twin Cities, but La Crosse, Wisconsin is 63 degrees. The cool spot up in northern Minnesota, 50 up at International Falls. Generally, middle 50s. Pick out your favorite city there and see what you're at. 58 degrees up at Grand Marais this morning. Satellite pictures do show some clouds across the state. There are clouds coming across the Dakotas and south across Minnesota. You can see those are low clouds up to the north of us and mid-level clouds to our west. Most of them will be falling apart, but we will have just a partly sunny sky today because of all this cloudiness that is scattered around the upper Midwest. High temperatures, though, will be on the cool side, and that's what we're featuring today. Comfortable temperatures, 70s across most of Minnesota, 60s in the Arrowhead, and some 60s in the UP of Michigan. And the real hot, sticky air pushed south, pushed east, pushed west, but not here in Minnesota. So stay here. It'll be real comfortable. Forecast for today, partly sunny and refreshing, for use of any other word. Temperature around 70 at midday. Winds out of the north at 10 to 20. The winds will be dying down, though, this afternoon. Northeast 5 to 15. 77 our high temperature today. Partly cloudy skies this afternoon. Then tonight our low about 59. Partly cloudy once again. Tomorrow a little warmer, up to 85 with a thunderstorm possible late in the day. Could be severe weather tomorrow night and into early Thursday. And temperatures back down into the upper 70s to near 80 by the time we get into Friday. So up and down this week, but we will see temperatures a little cooler than we had over the last week or so that's good news.
Very
Excellent
good news. Yes, thanks, Bill.
Sure.
We're going to check in on the traffic right now with Marianne Sullivan. Good morning, Marianne.
Good morning, Wendy. And with this weather, it's just nice to have your windows open, even on your drive into work. And we'll keep that green light on the system as things still moving very smoothly in Highway 36 between 35W and 35E. Moderately heavy traffic. 35E southbound becomes heavy at Maryland. That continues heavy. Slow and go, stop and go into downtown St. Paul. And you'll also find some heavy traffic now on the crosstown eastbound. That left lane from Penn to 35W is already heavy, and a bit of that continues 35 northbound from the crosstown into downtown Minneapolis. I'm Marianne Sullivan, Metro Traffic Control, reporting live for Eyewitness News.
All right, Marianne, here's a look at the headlines this morning. A Red Wing mother and her boyfriend are in jail this morning, charged with 2 counts of murder in connection with the death of the woman's 3-year-old daughter. Julia Morrison died last May. Her natural father says he is pressing charges against the county because he says they were notified of the mother's neglect months before the death. In Jacksonville, Florida, preparations began today for the arrival of the USS Stark. Among the sailors aboard the Navy vessel is Minnesota native Christopher Ryden. And the public testimony in the Iran-Contra hearing is now over. Beginning today, the panel will hear testimony from several top CIA officials who reportedly worked close to Oliver North. So far, none of the 29 witnesses have directly linked President Reagan to the scandal. And Federal Communications Commission sources say the agency will meet today with plans to abolish the Fairness Doctrine. The policy of the Fairness Doctrine, first set forth in 1949, requires broadcasters to air all sides of controversial issues.
This morning, Jason Davis goes on the road to Truman, Minnesota, where some people have found jobs working in a different kind of liquor store.
The sweet, succulent aromas that pour from this house in Truman, Minnesota every day are the direct results of unemployment.
And all of a sudden, the jobs were gone, and you're going like, what do I do?
What Yvonne and Nelson Williams did was go into the sucker business, not just regular lollipops, but super suckers.
We've bought suckers before, you know, and oh, they smelled fantastic when you opened the package, and they tasted really good for about 3 seconds, and all of a sudden the flavor disappeared.
Not with these.
Not with these. The flavor lasts right to the stick.
Using special flavors from a source in Utah, the Nelsons are turning out up to 15,000 suckers a month. They're struggling to stay small.
This is one thing, you know, people say, oh, you know, buy a machine, buy a machine. But then you lose something. Homemade, handmade is not machine-made. This happens in clothing, it happens in anything that you put on a machine. It's just not the same thing.
25 flavors ranging from root beer float to strawberry daiquiri. Rock-hard suckers with brilliant colors, guaranteed to last half an hour. No wonder demand outstrips supply.
It just gets bigger and bigger. We have people call us. I have no idea how they've heard about us. None whatsoever wanting suckers. Fine, I'll send them as long as I've got them.
Nelson Williams has the easy task of selling the suckers. He says he's never had it so good.
It just blows my imagination completely. I didn't know there was a business like this.
The latest innovation from the liquor store is the Mega Sucker. And this sucker weighs over a pound and should take you at least a month to finish. Jason Davis with photographer Phil TC on the road again in Truman, Minnesota.
A lot of innovative people in Minnesota. Bill Ranby, what's it going to be like today?
Wendy, you'll want to get outside and enjoy the refreshing, cool breeze that's coming out of the north this morning. A Canadian cooler is with us this morning, as we'll have temperatures only in the mid to upper 70s for highs, and the dew points much, much lower, only middle 50s. So it's really going to feel quite pleasant, and we'll probably continue with the cool temperatures into the day tomorrow, warming up a little bit by late in the day tomorrow. Ed, what's coming up in sports?
I didn't know Bartles and James were Canadians. The Minnesota Vikings engaged in their first full day of training camp at Mankato. Cooler weather in prospect for them. The Resorters Golf Tournament kicks off with a Pro-Am today, and the Twins play Game 2 of that series with the Angels at Anaheim. Steve Carlton starts for the Twins. Don Sutton, the starter for the Angels, and Bob's playing in the Resorters today. If you play with anybody named Herzog, get strokes.
Well, in fact, Dave Dahl will also be up there with me in Alexandria for the Resorters, so if you're anywhere in the area, I hope you'll come out and support the tournament. I also hope that you'll join me later today, later this morning for Twin Cities Live at 9 a.m. Today we will look at Ms. Magazine's 15th anniversary with the woman who made it all happen, Gloria Steinem. Among other things, Gloria will list who she believes to be some of the dumbest men in America. That's later this morning at 9 o'clock on Twin Cities Live, and none of us gentlemen are included in that list. Just a reminder, when you see news happening